Have you ever tried shutting the fuck up?
Hey, have you ever tried just shutting your goddamn mouth?
Hey.
I did. And it's done wonders.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
What'd you do over the weekend? Because you know what I did over the weekend?
What?
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, of course.
That's what I did.
That makes sense. You did approach that very strangely, and I was like, did you commit a crime?
Yeah,
Like,
against Koroks.
Do you need me to say that you were with me?
I committed so many crimes against Koroks this weekend. It was wonderful.
You know, I will admit, I didn't get a ton more time in. I got a little. I've been grabbing scant moments here and there, but I did see a live production of Hairspray.
That's good. That's good.
It's a little different.
It's a little different.
Hey, that play's weird.
It's, yeah. Well, look, when you're going to turn John Waters into a family musical, something's going to go down.
Listen.
Something's going to go down.
Listen, I want to talk about it for a quick second, just because I've been going, a bunch of friends and I got season tickets to a theater here in Los Angeles called the Pantages. And we've been going to shows. We haven't been to many.
You're right.
We've missed quite a few of the shows this season.
If I remember correctly, everybody bought season passes because it was the only way to get tickets to Beetlejuice
Pretty
at
much.
all.
Yep.
So it was like, you're buying tickets to Beetlejuice, and then if you come see another play, good on you.
Yeah, basically. That was kind of the plan. As long as we get to Beetlejuice, we will have made use for this in our eyes. But the ones that we've seen so far are To Kill a Mockingbird.
Great.
Mean Girls.
Great.
Hairspray.
Sure.
Those are the three we've seen so far. And
When does Beetlejuice even happen?
next month.
How exciting.
Coming up. But 2 out of 3 of those are extremely potent stories of white saviorism. In a really intense way. And every time they do a new production of these plays, they do rewrite them.
Yeah.
Every time.
A little bit.
But not enough. Nowhere near enough.
Just a little bit.
And now
Because they also want them to be of the time they were written. Which, like, okay.
I guess. I don't understand, but okay. So Hairspray is obviously set in the 60s, in the early 60s. And I feel like, I don't know, when did the movie come out? The Zac Efron Hairspray movie. Early 2000s, right?
Early 2000s.
Like a 2006 or something.
And then there was another one before that when I was a kid that was the Ricky Lake one.
And I never saw that one. I definitely saw the Zac Efron, like, 2006 ones. But it's probably been since that movie came out that I saw it. So in 2006, I was 10 turning 11. And I didn't, and I'm trying to figure out how much I just didn't remember and how much is different from the movie. But damn, that girl just really looks at black people dancing and goes, I bet I could get on TV doing that. And then does.
Yep.
And here's the thing. They talk about, like, racism being a problem, obviously.
That's always been a thing.
That's the, like, you know,
that's the
it's
thing.
about segregation, the play itself, and about integration. But they never acknowledge that as a bad thing. They never are like, hey, you can't just do the dance moves that the community of black people you stumbled across were doing and get on television. You can't do that.
Yeah.
And they're all like, no, she can. And it's okay. And we love her for it.
Because she's doing something for the people. Yeah, Hairspray is a weird play. I mean, you get to see Beetlejuice next month, though.
Yeah, but I fully just sat there the whole time like, And I went on Mother's Day, which means I was surrounded.
International Hairspray Day.
I was surrounded by multi-generational theater families, which is a very intense mother-daughter combination. It's really the combination of the kind of woman who buys 2 To Kill a Mockingbird tote bags.
Sure.
It was a very strange energy in the building last night.
Yeah, all musicals have strange energy. Hairspray, I'm sure, is a musical that has double strange energy in the audience, and then Mother's Day makes it triple strange energy. And I just like, and then plus the Pantages is down in the heart of Hollywood, which is like strange energy.
Weird energy in all of Hollywood.
It's just a lot of weird energy. You know where you want to go see a play is the Amundsen.
Yeah?
That's a nice theater. I didn't see any theater.
No?
No, except for the theater of the mind, where I was building gadgets and strapping Koroks to them.
On stream this weekend, I played Pajama Sam.
I know you did. I know you did.
Instead of Zelda.
Instead of Zelda. That's fine.
Beat it in one
But
go.
people are doing Zelda?
Pajama Sam.
Ah, there you go.
There's no need to hide when it's dark outside.
First of all, congratulations. What's the recommended age range for that game?
Ooh, I would say any.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably
But
any.
targeted towards, if you had to guess, like targeted towards a Pajama Sam game, like what do you
They
like?
probably
Like a
put
Pajama
all
Sam,
ages.
a Freddy Fish, a Putt Putt. Where would those be, do you
Probably
think?
all ages.
All ages?
Probably all ages. They probably target it for all ages. I will say, the game is terrifying. All of the characters in it, freaky as hell. I'm continually reminded that everything I enjoyed it as a kid is terrifying.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like everything to be a little terrifying. I think a lot of kids do. Kids like to be scared. Hey, go outside and yell at a kid.
Hey, sidebar, babies. Don't go outside and yell at
Go outside, yell at a kid.
Don't.
Hey, they should all, if they're any kind of good kid, they're inside playing Zelda anyway. You're not going to scare any kid that's doing the right thing right now. You know who's playing Zelda, Saige? If not you.
everyone else.
Literally everyone else in the world. Tears of the Kingdom is the most successful Zelda game of all time.
Wow.
And the second biggest Nintendo launch in history. The biggest UK launches in terms of week one revenue for for Nintendo. Number one is the Wii Fit and Balance Board. In terms of week one revenue, the Wii Fit and Balance Board made the most money for Nintendo in history.
I mean, it was a moment.
Listen, we look back on the Wii and go, huh? But the Wii was the biggest thing in the world.
Yeah, it was.
The biggest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Which means number two is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Number 3 and 4. Number 3 is Pokemon Scarlet Violet. Number 4 is Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Wow. I didn't expect Scarlet Violet to be so high.
I think because of Animal Crossing and the pandemic, the install base for the Switch is so concentrated right now.
Yeah.
That there are just so many people just buying things on the Switch. Because they're just like, I don't play a lot of video games, so let me pick up something for the Switch. Oh, I love Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'll get a Pokemon.
Sun and Moon makes sense to me. I think Sun and Moon are some of the best Pokemon games of all time. I think they fucking own.
As somebody who has not played through all the Pokemons, I will agree with you.
Very, very good.
Because I got no horse in this race. I got no Ponyta in this race. Am I right?
Nice.
Pokemon kids.
Nice.
I speak your language.
Good job.
The biggest UK launches in terms of unit sales. Now that was in terms of revenue. In terms of unit sales, Nintendo launches of all time. Number 1 is Pokemon Sun and Moon. The official, according to Saige Ryan, best Pokemon game of all time.
Makes sense.
So that makes sense.
One of the best.
Number 2, Pokemon Scarlet Violet. Number 3 is the Wii Fit and Balance Board. And then number 4 is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Now, the unit sales is very interesting because somebody in chat, Wordslinger, was like, well, that checks. Wasn't it like $99 to get the Wii Fit and Balance Board? So like it makes sense that it was up that high in revenue, but it's also in the top 5 on units.
It's number 1 and it's
Number 1 in revenue.
Number
It's
3 number 3 in units. So
that's big.
It's still big. It's still outsold all of your favorite Nintendo games except for 2. Name a Nintendo game you've ever loved, and the Wii Fit and Balance Board outsold it.
Everything
according
wrong.
to every metric.
Yeah. Everything Wrong said, where is Pokemon Yellow? Everyone had it. Gaming at that time was still a much more niche experience. The gaming community, if everyone who played games had Pokemon Yellow, significantly less people had Pokemon Yellow than have Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah. Just overall install base of games and gaming systems. And also I think, sales units were actually, if the data's still around, it was easier to track because it was just physical sales.
Yeah.
So, that's the other thing, digital sales. It's removed a lot of boundaries from people just buying games.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the store. You think about it less.
In terms of the best Zelda game launches, physical only, because we got to go all the way back, right? They have the top 10.
Okay.
And let's see how we do.
Okay.
Let's see how we do. So we know that number 1 is Tears of the Kingdom.
Which is wild that it wins in physical units in 2023. That it beat out physical units of other games.
It's wild. Well, here's what I'll say too. I will say I'm not a person, as we know, I'm not a person that goes for big collector's editions. But I do feel they were very thoughtful about the collector's editions, both for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Because it was like, the collector's edition is like a nice art book. I believe the first one had the Sheikah Slate case for your Switch, and then the coin. And I think this one is also a case and an art book. And it's just like, it's not just like the little tchotchkes. I'm sure there's an amiibo in there.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's better than like it's better than your cloth map. You know what I mean? So what do you think is the number 2 selling Zelda game of all time?
Breath of the Wild.
It's absolutely Breath of the Wild.
100% Breath of the Wild.
It's absolutely Breath of the Wild.
That makes sense. Breath of the Wild was game-changing.
But do you know what's number 3? All you fuckers out there, do you know what's number 3?
It's not going to be what I think it is. Like, it's not going to be one of your... Because, like, when you think of the next Zelda game that people can name, you want to say Ocarina of Time, you want to say Majora's Mask.
Yep.
Twilight Princess?
The Wind Waker.
Oh.
Otherwise known as Best Zelda. And that's the Wii version.
Wow.
Physical sales.
Wow.
Physical sales for the yeah. Think about that.
Yeah.
Or the GameCube Wii version.
Okay, what's after that?
After that, you've got Twilight Princess.
Hey, I wasn't far off.
You weren't far off. Number 5, Self-Aware Can Opener says, I want it to be Tunic. Yeah, I want 2 of these games to be Tunic and Shadow of the Colossus. I think those should both be on here.
On the list, yeah.
But number 5, Ocarina of Time.
Okay, yeah.
Number 6, and this hurts my heart, but I understand, Skyward Sword. It was on the Wii.
I'm looking at the list, but
it was on the
it's
Wii.
6 and 7 because you've got Skyward Sword HD as
That's
7.
the thing that fucks me up.
Takes 2 spots.
I understand it being on the Wii, and so everybody bought it because you had a Wii and you wanted the Zelda for the Wii. But the fact that everybody went back and bought the HD version, I'm disappointed in all of us. I bought the HD version. Why did I do that? I think it's like the worst Zelda game.
Yeah, I didn't buy it.
I think it's the worst 3D Zelda game. That's right, the worst. Number 8 is Link's Awakening for the Switch, not the Game Boy version. Link's Awakening for the Switch.
Okay, interesting. Then we've got Spirit Tracks.
Spirit Tracks, and that I think is the power of the Nintendo DS.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I think that's it, and it's not Phantom Hourglass. You know what I mean? It's Spirit Tracks.
Yeah.
It was that first one, and then you've got Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS.
Yeah.
At number 10.
Y'all, Majora's Mask doesn't even make the list.
Majora's Mask isn't on there. Listen, Majora's Mask is that's when I say that's a cult classic favorite, it really is.
Fascinating.
It really is. So here's get fucked, everyone.
Got him.
Got him.
Nice, Anthony. Hey.
It was up there earlier. What happened to it? Yeah.
Hey.
Oh.
Got him.
Sorry. I was fixing my tech. Here we go.
Fix your fucking tech.
I did. And here's the thing. Majora's Mask 3D doesn't even rank up there.
Yeah. Weird.
That sucks. Am I on there now? Yeah, so here you go. That's the entire list. I think that's absolutely wild. It all tracks. It all makes sense. Except for Spirit Tracks. Spirit Tracks really throws me off.
Yeah?
Yeah. I did not expect Spirit Tracks to be there.
But that's the power of the DS.
That's the power of the DS, baby.
I remember being a DS kid, and I remember, like, before going on any kind of, like, long drives and shit, my mom just being like, what do you have for the Nintendo DS at a game store?
Yeah.
And it just being like, whatever. Like, DS kids played everything.
Oh, 100%.
There wasn't like, you know, on your console, on your whatever, you play your genre of games, you play your favorite franchises. Everything got a DS game. It was like, hey, you know that movie Robots? Yeah, Robots on Nintendo DS. And you're like, okay, I guess, yeah.
Now, Robots was a multi-console, multi-platform experience. Robots got a big, very expensive game on the Xbox and everything.
But like, it was just like, I don't know, it doesn't matter if you've seen the movie. It doesn't fucking matter. It
doesn't matter.
It's just a DS game. I feel truly like DS kids just played everything.
Well, we've also talked about how the DS is the number one selling Nintendo console of all time.
Yeah, and DS games were less expensive than console games.
Yeah, of course. So I think like, it makes a lot of sense. You have that install base. They're cheaper games. It's entirely like you're saying, it was a big install base with kids, with children. So it makes sense. But like, I don't know. There's so many Zelda games. The fact that Spirit Tracks like even snuck its way on there, even with the power of the DS, did surprise me. Another thing that surprised me while we're talking about classic Zelda games, Link's Awakening. One of my favorites.
Yep.
And they've talked a lot. Takashi Tezuka talked a lot about how it was based on Twin Peaks. He was watching a lot of Twin Peaks and made Link's Awakening. And that's become like such an apocryphal story. Everybody knows it. But here's the wildest thing.
What's the wildest thing?
Mark Frost, the co-creator of Twin Peaks with David Lynch, tweeted this last week. So there's a story on Collider about it being inspired by Twin Peaks. And Mark Frost goes, anybody ever play this? I met with them about it and gave them some ideas. Never tried it myself.
Did anyone ever play this?
Did anyone ever play? Here's Mark Frost, co-creator of Twin Peaks, doesn't play video games, has no idea what a Zelda is. Knew Nintendo was big. They had him in to like pitch some ideas or whatever, or just, I don't know how they had it. Like, I would love to get more information about this from Mark Frost, and I'm sure people have been reaching out to him. But that's official. Mark Frost gave ideas. It wasn't just Takashi Tezuka was watching Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
This is the creator of Twin Peaks gave them some ideas about this Dreamfish Island.
Wild.
What?
Genuinely wild.
What? Do you think Mark Frost came up with the windfish? Do you think Mark Frost came up with the alligator who wears a hat that you have to feed the dog food?
Yes, I do. Made by Carl in the live studio audience said, I'm starting to think no one played Minish Cap. Definitely my sleeper hit.
Fucking love Minish Cap.
Well, if you watched Friday's show, you would know no one's ever completed Minish Cap.
That's right. That's a Zelda fact. No one's ever actually played it all the way through. There's no evidence. Speaking of more Zelda, it's a lot of Zelda. I hope you're ready. I love Zelda so much.
And you just keep saying, speaking of Zelda.
Speaking of Zelda, that's my only segue I'm going to use today. It's just going to be like, oh, while we're still talking about Zelda, I want to talk about some of the amazing creative things that people are doing with Tears of the Kingdom. We all knew that it was going to be, like we said on Friday, we were surprised that even Friday at 9 a.m., there were not videos being posted of wild shit people have made.
But we also said, on Monday, we got you.
So we absolutely do have you. Here are some of the best Tears of the Kingdom creations that people are finding around the internet. VG247 kindly did our job for us. Thanks, VG247. And posted some good stuff from Breath of the Wild.
I have to enable targeting cookies in order to see it on VG247.
I don't know what to tell you.
Targeting cookies?
Listen, my cookies have been targeted. We can just do it off of mine.
That's wild.
You know what's wild? This little train guy. This
So
little
cute.
Tonka truck that this man made.
Adorable.
Look at the little Tonka. And then you run into the boys. I've been doing this. I built myself a monster truck and I ran over the boys. That's all you have to do. If you ever see, like, there are so many early encounters that are extremely overpowered.
Yeah.
In Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm like, at first I was like, holy shit, these bases are so hard. Like, why did they make these so complicated? Baby, you can just build a thing.
Yeah. To encourage you to build something.
You can just build a thing and mow these boys
I love
down.
That.
See, that's why Spirit Tracks sold so well, says Peter Lou. Everybody wants to be in a little train. This I love.
This owns so hard.
This I love. The fact that you need a crotch fan to make the man stand up.
Come on, show us the whole thing. I
I love that.
want to see the whole thing. I want to see its head. Does it have a head? I want to know.
All
I'm going to be building.
little robots. I mean, here's a good little robot.
All I'm going to be building is friends.
This person's built a whole ass mech. I love watching them all. And then you ascend into the mech. It's got a control stick at the top.
That's so hard.
Yo. Let me tell you something. That is so brilliant.
Wait, music. Oh my god, it is very loud.
Oh, I have it muted on mine, sorry. Look at that.
This owns.
This is the best. I told you I would never build anything like this, but I love watching people build this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You wouldn't even try it? You're not even gonna try?
I mean, now that I've seen this mech, I'm like, maybe I want a mech. I mean, maybe I want to take the time to build a mech.
Okay. But you wouldn't think of building
It's
a
a little
mech on
minecart head.
Yeah. It's so good.
Oh, it's not a minecart. Oh my gosh.
I don't know what that piece is.
That's so good.
But like extremely protected.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking owns.
It clearly needs like a lot of power cells though. Like he definitely has like his belt clip is full. What are we doing here?
A jail cell.
A little jail cell for a moblin?
Yeah.
Or a bokoblin? Oh no. that's inhumane.
That's someone who grew up playing The Sims.
This is why we have to abolish prisons.
That person absolutely grew up on The Sims.
That is why we have to abolish prisons.
Ooh, a good boat. Very cool looking boat.
A cool paddle wheel boat.
Yeah, you're just coming through a little bit poor quality. Let me see if mine will be better.
A cool paddle wheel boat.
It is. Much better. Huh.
Look at that. Why swim? Why sail?
So cool.
That shit's for dummies. Get yourself a big paddle wheel.
As soon as they announced the crafting for this game.
Oh my god! Fishing with a cannon!
You sank my battleship. Anyways.
Scantron 1 is saying, I just don't even feel like I'm playing the same game. This is what I'm saying. There are two kinds of people in games like this. There are builders, and then there are explorers. And I feel like it's the same way in things like No Man's Sky, things like
Fallout.
Aqua Sleepiness, Subnautica.
I was like, what?
Sleepiness, you know, like all of these things where it's like there are people who want to be intense builders. Oh my god, not a Trojan horse.
A literal Trojan horse.
Not a fucking Trojan horse.
Hell yeah.
Are you gonna ascend into that horse? Stop.
Uh-huh. Sure is.
It's just a gift. It's just a gift.
Rolling downhill.
It's just a gift.
Let me in.
It's just a gift.
Let me in.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a present.
You got to fill that with explosives though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the trick.
Yeah. Fun to fill with Link. More fun to fill with explosives.
No.
Hell yeah.
No.
Rocket power your horse.
No.
Rocket power your horse.
That horse died the second it went off that cliff. That's why that clip ends.
In the arms of
Just like Thelma and Louising off the hill. Just like. That's amazing. I thought about now. I've hooked many a rocket to a Korok.
Uh-huh.
Certainly, we all have.
Sure.
Who hasn't among us hooked a rocket to a Korok, if you will?
Yeah, fucking fly. Let's go.
The Korok space program, as I like to call it.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
These never work the way that you think they're going to. They never work the way you think they're going to. Glider's gonna glide, but they're so finicky. They're so finicky when you add stuff to them. You lucked out.
You know, or they chose to build it right over a body of water. All right, let's see what this one is. Okay.
Timed explosive.
All right. On just like a cart.
Yeah. No, connected to very heavy rocks.
Oh,
no, wait. No.
I was like, the rock's not connected. Just
We're going down to a camp.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, this is like the advanced version of that first tutorial they give you in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
You remember where it's like, push a rock down on these boys.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We're in a section of fails now.
That should have done it. That honestly should have done it. That was Dan? That was Dan Reichert. Oh my God, Dan.
Incredible, iconic, perfect.
Dan, you dummy.
Notes.
That's so hilarious.
Dude, that's so funny.
In a similar thread, speaking of Zelda, we need to talk about everything people are doing to Koroks.
Okay.
There is someone on Twitter, Dan Kois, is keeping a thread of all of the terrible things people are doing to Koroks in Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
First of all, hey, my roommate just crucified a Korok.
Oh my God. Hey, why?
I need to reach my friend.
That's fucked. Why are you doing this?
That's fucking weird.
Oh my God. Go to the next one.
Yeah. The Korok rotisserie machine. Delicious roasted Korok for everyone.
Why? Why are we doing this?
Hope you don't mind being used as a front bumper, little Korok. Literally, this is like the first Korok you meet. Literally, this person saw their first Korok and was like, how do I hurt this guy? This one is called Korok Space Program.
Oh, does he have to click through too? Bro.
Godspeed,
it.
little Korok.
Stop.
No.
Knock
Korok
it
needs to
off.
see his friend.
What? Yeah.
Korok needs to go to the moon.
Be nice.
His friend's up there. You can see the smoke. That's where his friend is. Gotta get him to his friend.
He fell back down.
Yeah, he didn't make it. The guidance systems need a little extra something. Korok Space Program, day 2.
The Korok's
Now-
up on top of this log.
The log added some
my
unexpected
God!
weight. The log added some unexpected weight.
Why was it unexpected? Why
you'd think
wouldn't you expect the
'cause
log?
You'd think it would be balanced because you have the fans, all 4 are under there.
It's tall.
Yeah, it's tall. But I mean, a lot of rockets tall. This is how we learn. This is how we learn.
What is this? What's gonna happen here? Oh God, this is the crucifixion one.
This
but
is the Mad
moving.
Max one.
Oh, no. Okay, this one's just a GIF. It's a snowmobiling. Oh no, no, it's sideways. What?
Oh dear. Here, you gotta make those a little bigger, I think. Oh my lord.
I've been clicking through for the others, but that one.
Oh! Yeah!
Good God. Oh my God. Anthony, they're all saying oof.
They're all saying oof. Every single one of them is saying oof.
Hey, what's wrong with you guys?
Listen. At first, I too only wanted to do good things for the Korok.
Uh-huh.
And then
What happened?
something in my brain changed. I just kept passing Koroks, and the distance between them and their friends just kept getting more and more incomprehensible.
Uh-huh.
And something in my brain broke, and I said, well, here's the thing.
What?
I don't have 30 minutes to get this Korok to his friend.
Yes, you do.
But what I do have
You do.
is a makeshift slingshot and a general direction. And maybe we can figure this out together, little bud.
Anthony, you have 30 minutes.
No, I got to get to another thing. And that Korok's just sitting there. And sometimes I just mark it on the map and I'm like, I'll come back for you, little Korok. And then sometimes I'm like, I wonder. Sometimes I say, I wonder what would happen if I just built something like this. Because sometimes, here's the really inhumane thing about it, Saige. I think about Koroks.
It wasn't the human centipede?
I think about Koroks as test subjects for things that I want to do later on.
Yeah, it's fucked.
It's animal testing.
really fucked.
I'm animal testing on Koroks. Because if I want to build a rocket pack for me, I got to know that it works. How am I going to know that it works? Test it on Korok.
maybe video games were a bad idea.
I love it. And if you think Nintendo didn't do this on purpose, you're wrong. Nintendo knew. Nintendo knew what we were going to do to those Koroks. Eiji Onuma said,
Can't you guys
do it.
just build nice things like a very long bridge?
Now, a lot of people are building very long bridges.
Yeah.
There are a lot of puzzles in Tears of the Kingdom. And here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what simple invention humanity made that solves all of them?
What?
The bridge. Now, am I supposed to build a complicated boat? Sure. Am I supposed to help Impa figure out balloon technology? Sure. There are trees. There are trees. Build a very long bridge. Build an extremely long bridge.
Yeah.
My friend built a bridge up to the top of the Temple of Time. I was like, what's up there? She was like, nothing. But I did it. And they didn't want me to. I was like, if you think they didn't want you to, you don't understand what they're doing. I did this. That's Andy.
I was gonna say, isn't that Andy?
Yeah, I saw Andy and I have same brain. So that first Moblin camp that's really hard.
Uh-huh.
Nah, man. Build a bridge. Go up to your little catwalk.
Uh-huh.
Skip the entire encounter with every Moblin,
I like his fit.
including the giant Moblins,
Mm-hmm.
and just open up the tower.
Wow.
There's no need to fight a Moblin.
Wow.
Build a bridge. This is very smart moves. It's big brain moves by Andy. The big bridge solves every problem.
They're really not stopping on the big bridges.
I was in a shrine that I was clearly supposed to solve using a complicated minecart rail system.
Uh-huh.
And I simply stuck all the minecarts together into a bridge. I just put all the minecarts together into a bridge and walked across.
Look at this shit.
Yeah,
Just bridge.
just build a bridge.
Hey, build a bridge, you can get over it.
Take that. There's so many just big bridgies. Wow. Look at this one. This one's a curvy. This one's a curvy bridgie. Wow. You can make bridges of any size or shape. Every puzzle is solvable with logs. Now this one you are supposed to build something to climb.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think to make it curved though.
Yeah, very interesting.
That's very smart.
This one is titled How I Lost My Portable Bridge.
No! Oh no! Oh, buddy.
Rip.
That's such a good bridge.
Goodbye forever, good
Because it's got the
bridge.
movable floating island on it?
Yeah, no, it's fucked. It's done.
You could literally, oh my God, you put the floating island on it. It's a literal bridge to anywhere.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no.
That's so good.
Yeah, well, no.
I mean, it's not good now, but
Yeah,
that's such a smart idea.
it didn't work out.
Wow.
Yeah, it didn't float.
Sometimes I guess they don't, huh?
Didn't float.
And then, of course, the big bridge, while it is a solution for all problems, it does have to be applied correctly.
Uh-huh.
You must make sure that you're actually doing the right thing with the big bridge,
Okay.
as Displate here will show us.
Uh-huh. Right, okay. Looks, oh,
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
looks right.
Lined it up.
Okay, yep. Oh!
Momentum is a thing. Momentum is a thing, my guy. I saw him just like carefully placing it, and I was just like, oh, bud, this is not gonna go your way. This is not gonna go your way. I wanna show off one of the.
Show off a little.
I showered today.
Wow.
I wanna show off a little. Speaking of Zelda, I wanted to show off something that Cam did. I think you know Cam Final Mix. He was on the Twitch social team for a while.
No.
Well, hi, Cam. Cam created the greatest solution to anything in Tears of the Kingdom that I have ever seen.
Wow.
I didn't even think about this, and it's amazing.
A bold statement. What is it?
So here you can see we're supposed to set up, a balanced thing and use your fans, use a platform, or you could do this.
Okay.
Ready? Here comes the tough part. Stick a minecart to a shield, and now you're Tony Hawking through every puzzle.
Oh, that's very funny.
You literally stick a minecart to a shield.
And then you just Tony Hawk it.
We're gonna watch it one more time.
Yeah, how does that work?
So whenever you hook something to the shield, it shrinks down to shield size. And you can do shield surfing.
Right.
And all minecarts are programmed to stick to railings.
Yo, that owns. And looks cool as shit. Even the way you dismounts. Looks fucking rad.
You just keep a minecart on a shield with you at all times.
Yeah, that's
as
clever
one of
as
your
hell.
shields.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
That's amazing. Cam's tweet was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6, 2023. Man, that's so good. That's so good. Speaking of Zelda, we got to talk about, this is not about mechanics. This is not about
Clever gameplay.
clever gameplay. This is about a universal experience that we're all having right now. We got to talk about Pura.
What do you want to talk about?
What she's doing later, what her vibe is. We are all down bad for Pura.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Now, Pura in Breath of the Wild she's over 100. It was a very anime trope. She's over 100 years old, but she was doing aging experiments and she turned herself into a child.
Yeah.
Now, if you played Hyrule Warriors, there was a teen Pura that was in there who was very I don't know, generic anime, sort of slightly older Pura, right? And she was cool looking. But Tears of the Kingdom Pura.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Grown Pura.
Grown Pura. What? I'm sorry. Did they give her a loose bun and a messy office and make her neurodivergent? I'm sorry. I said the same thing 3 times. That's the same thing 3 times.
Straight up fan cams.
So that's Hyrule Warriors Pura.
I know,
but that ends on the good Pura. Now,
Straight
she
up
calls
fan
you
cams.
she calls you Linky.
I don't like it, but
You don't like it?
Linky?
Yeah, she calls you Linky. And she says be a dear Linky and do this for me.
A lot of people doing these fan cams.
Yeah.
Damn.
This is my favorite tweet about it. Gonna need 20 hearts and 3 stamina wheels to pull me out. We're all into Pura. We're all into Pura right now.
Hey, speaking of Zelda.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Movie comes out on digital this week.
What?
If you haven't seen it yet, which Anthony and I had slightly different reviews of it, but
I thought it was fine. I thought it was cute.
I thought it was very good. The Super Mario Bros. Movie will be available on digital. You can buy or rent it starting on May 16th. That's tomorrow, baby.
Now, somebody in the live studio audience here, Shelley Von Miller, is saying, "Wow, that was quick," and it does feel quick because I want to say it had a late March theatrical release.
Yeah.
Kids movies tend to release on VOD faster.
Yeah.
Before kids become obsessed with something else.
And that timeline just keeps getting shorter.
Yeah, and I mean, the theatrical release to VOD for all movies, you're right, is becoming just quicker and quicker at all times.
I remember as a kid thinking that once they finish making the movie for theaters, it takes them a long time to make the VHSs, and that's why we didn't get to watch them right away.
Because they have to hand make the VHSs.
They had to make all the VHSs, and they had to make the movie different for VHS.
Yeah, they had to wind the tapes around the spools.
They made it big for the theater. Now they have to make a little version for my VHS at home.
They have to make a little square one.
They have to make a little version for my house.
Yeah, cut the sides off. They got to do that by hand. Now, it's not coming directly to rental. This is not going to be a $3 rental immediately. This is not coming to a streaming service for free immediately. This is going to be, we're in that beautiful, beautiful in between theatrical and rental where a kid's movie, they charge you $30 to have it for 3 days.
Wait, can you not? No, so you can purchase it for $30.
Oh, you can buy or rent
buy
movies.
it for $30.
Okay, $30 to buy it.
It doesn't say how much to rent. It does say it'll be available for rent, but it doesn't say
And it
how
says on the
much.
Universal platform, Universal Pictures Home Entertainment, that can't be right. I
That
think they're
would
going to release
be
it on,
Peacock.
I think they're going to release it on all platforms. I think they're just saying Universal Home Entertainment is the company.
Yeah, I bet it'll be Amazon. You'll be able to, usually you can rent or buy
They're gonna put
everything
it
on
everywhere.
Amazon.
$30 to buy it. Okay. It's going to sell crazy numbers. I mean, this is the first, it crossed $1 billion.
And it's a very fun movie to watch. I'd absolutely rewatch it.
It
I
cost
will watch it again.
$1 billion.
Yeah, 1.2 billion globally. It released in April, not even in March.
Yeah, early April. This is only the 11th animated film to cross the $1 billion box office threshold. Woo! Only the 11th film. This article doesn't say what the other 10 films are.
It would be helpful if
That's
it did.
rude. That's super rude.
What do you think it is? You think Frozen's on there?
Avatar's on there.
Oh, yeah. I was only thinking of kids' movies for a second.
Avatar's on there. Frozen's
Avatar
probably
2.
on there.
Frozen.
What else? Probably one of the Toy Story movies.
Oh, yeah, definitely a Toy Story.
Mm,
I was going to say maybe a Lion King. Maybe, but I don't know.
let's put it into Google and see what happens.
List of highest grossing animated films.
Highest grossing animated films. Now, this list does not include Avatar. I think James Cameron does not want to consider Avatar animated.
It's hilarious.
Okay, man.
Hey, that's great. I don't want to talk about Avatar.
Yeah, that's fine. Here we're looking at now this says The Lion King remake 2019. So Disney's clearly talking about The Lion King as an animated film, even though they thought of it as a live action remake.
Well, it was animated though.
It was animated, but like they called it the live action Lion King.
Interesting. Did they?
Yeah, that's how they've been positioning all those remakes. Maybe they didn't.
We've got like different lists. It's very interesting depending on where you look. And I'd say yours on Wikipedia is probably accurate-ish.
Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia. It says number 1 is The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Number
Remake.
2 is the remake. Number 2 is Frozen 2. Number 3 is Frozen. Number 4 is Incredibles 2.
Wow.
Which I would not have put up there.
I would not have put that up there at all.
Number 5 is now the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Minions.
Filet mignon.
Filet Mignons. Banana. That's all I know about Minions.
Yeah,
and I hate it.
I love it.
Number 7 is Toy Story 4.
Mm-hmm.
What? Number 8 is Toy Story 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 is Despicable Me 3. And number 10 is Finding Dory.
Wow. And hey, the original Lion King is way up there. The original Lion King at number 13. Very interesting.
There's a lot. I mean, to have Minions and Despicable Me 3 in there's more illumination. And now the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yep.
There's more illumination in that top 10 than I would have thought.
Yeah. Like every Minions and Despicable Me movie is on here. Like all of them.
That's crazy to me.
But man, Disney owns this list.
Oh, of course.
Disney owns this list.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
Boss Baby's number 50.
And I think
And you think?
it's going to make a resurgence.
Yeah?
I think when they re-release the
You think it's
Boss
coming on up?
Baby.
Yeah.
The Boss Baby is a perfect film.
There's a lot of Shrek on here.
A lot of Shrek. I mean, the first DreamWorks you get to, which this is really well, Minions is DreamWorks and Illumination, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. DreamWorks released it. Illumination was the studio behind
I think so.
Because I was going to say, to get to your first like DreamWorks film, full-on DreamWorks, produced in-house, released in-house, it's number 16, Shrek 2.
How interesting.
Shrek 2. And then the next Shrek movie is Shrek the Third. Not even the original Shrek.
Wow.
Number 23, Shrek Forever After.
Where the fuck is regular Shrek?
Where's regular Shrek?
Regular Shrek's not on the list? Not in the top 50?
Isn't that wild?
That is wild. Who's seeing Shrek 2 and not Shrek?
I do think Shrek 2 is a better movie than the first Shrek.
I know, but would you watch it if you hadn't seen Shrek 1?
I'd be afraid that I'd be so lost in the lore.
Is this a Brahms the Boy 2 situation?
I'd be afraid that I'd miss so much in the first Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Fascinating.
I'd never catch up.
Weird.
In other movie news, while we're talking movies, I want to jump on down here and chat about, we've got some rumors, Saige, about the cast for your favorite movie by your favorite director, Superman Legacy, the new James Gunn Superman film. I, of course, am a huge Superman fan. Saige thinks Superman makes her sleepy. Doesn't think it, knows it. I love Superman.
Yeah, you take this one.
Superman's one of my favorite characters. And when Superman is done well, there's just nothing more wonderful and heartwarming and uplifting, I think, than a Superman story. James Gunn, of course, is doing Superman Legacy, which is supposed to be a reboot, a younger Superman, taking like an origin, not an origin, but a younger Superman earlier in his life.
We just got a new Superman. We don't need another one.
I know, but I want it.
James Gunn shouldn't do it.
I want it because
do you want James Gunn Superman?
I don't know that I want a James Gunn Superman.
His movies continually get more violent. I haven't seen Guardians 3 yet, but I heard that like it's very James Gunn. It's very this era James Gunn.
Yeah, I wonder if he's not going to use Superman to show that he can do something different. I think that's what he wants to do.
Guardians was. Guardians was supposed to be the like lighthearted. Like, it's not like it was...
But it was still edgy for a Marvel movie. Even the first one was supposed to be... They released it with those, like, punk rock posters of the characters. They knew it was supposed...
But there's a difference between, like, the punk edgy and the Suicide Squad edgy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is I think he wants to show that he can do something that isn't that. And I think he wants to use Superman to do it. Whether he'll be successful, who knows? But what I will say is I'm very interested in some of these frontrunners for some of these roles. First of all, for young Superman, they're talking about David McDougal, or not David McDougal, I'm sorry. They're talking about David Corenswet, who played David McDougal in We Own the City. He was the projectionist in Pearl. And he looks, when you clean him up, he looks like he could be a young Superman.
He does.
Let me show your screen for a sec.
Yeah.
This guy is Superman.
I agree. He's Superman looking.
He looks like a mix between Henry Cavill and the kid from Krypton.
Interesting. Yeah, I could see Henry Cavill meets what's the Stark? The young Stark boy. Not young, but the brother.
Rob
Stark. I think it's a Henry Cavill meets a Rob Stark situation.
Yeah, he's definitely
British.
Yeah. That's definitely a British guy.
That's fine. I mean, it's not bad casting.
No.
I'm not going to complain about that.
He looks, thank you, Cameron Cuff. I think he has a very Superman look. I think that's very interesting. But the two that I think are even more interesting, Saige.
Yeah.
This is the cool, like, here's what I want to know. I want to know, like, listen, it's not easy to play Superman, but do you know who's a real cool character to play that's not as easy to get right? Requires a little bit of charisma and panache, et cetera, et cetera. Both of these characters, actually. Number one, Lois Lane. Number two, Lex Luthor. And we have two very good contenders for Lois Lane and Lex Luthor.
Nicholas Hoult and Rachel Brosnahan.
Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, that's good. Okay,
I like that a lot. Now, there are rumors saying that Nicholas Hoult went out for both Superman and Lex Luthor. He may be being considered for Clark Kent as well.
I don't see him as a Clark Kent, even though I love Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah.
And I love him as like even like a romantic lead. I don't see him as a Superman personally.
No. I mean, who knows though? Who knows what he's bringing to the role?
Doesn't mean he can't, but I don't see it.
I definitely see this David Corenswet better.
I feel like Rachel Brosnahan though was born to play Lois Lane.
Miss Maisel is a Jewish Lois Lane.
Yeah. She's not Jewish though. Rachel Brosnahan.
No, but she played, listen, here's what, as your two Jewish morning show hosts, here's what we'll say. Rachel Brosnahan pretty much nails it in Miss Maisel.
Oh, that's the thing.
Miss Maisel, everybody on Miss Maisel that's playing Jewish is playing my family.
Yeah. They're all nailing it. Rachel Brosnahan can play a Jew anytime she wants.
Yeah, but Midge Maisel is basically a Lois Lane.
Yeah.
She's very much like a Silver Age Lois Lane type of character. And I think she would be so perfect. And I think she would bring back a little bit of that edge that Lois Lane needs to have that we haven't seen in the last few movies. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that the writing wasn't there for Lois Lane.
Oh my God.
The writing wasn't there at all for Lois Lane. So hopefully that's coming back too. And I think it will. If there's one thing James Gunn does, he does banter between characters.
He does banter.
He does a lot of banter between characters.
I was going to say, it's not writes women well.
No. I was not going to say that. I was going to say he writes banter between characters well. And so I think the Clark-Lois banter will probably be pretty spot on.
I'll be honest, y'all. I'm not the biggest James Gunn fan. So
no.
I'm approaching with some skepticism.
He's
He's not my favorite guy.
I have to be optimistic about this. It's what Clark Kent would want. Superman would be optimistic about it. And so I too must be optimistic about it, even though they fucking did Henry Cavill dirty. They did him dirty as hell, man.
They did Henry Cavill real
They
fucking
did Henry.
dirty.
Ooh, they did Henry Cavill so fucking dirty.
Everybody DC's getting done dirty, though.
They got done so dirty.
Everybody decent to DC's getting done dirty.
They didn't even listen. And
a lot of D's.
And like I am so glad that we've got Superwoman in the Flash movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But that role in the Flashpoint comics was originally Superman. And you know they just didn't ask Henry Cavill to do it. And that's fucked, man, because that would have been a good Superman role for him. And he deserves a good Superman role.
Yeah.
After the 3 movies they fucking put him in.
Yeah.
4 movies, whatever they put him in.
And continuing with some casting news, in more Zelda news.
Speaking of Zelda.
Willem Dafoe joins the cast for Beetlejuice 2. If you were here on Friday, Wednesday last week.
Yeah.
Friday was all Tears of the Kingdom. If you're here on Wednesday last week, you saw that we talked about the announcement formally of Beetlejuice 2. Jenna Ortega attached.
Okay. IGN has already got an error in their first paragraph. Ortega is reported to play Lydia Dietz, the daughter of Ryder's character. No. Lydia Dietz is Winona Ryder's character.
Yikes. IGN, come on. So Willem Dafoe is reported to be playing a law enforcement officer in the afterlife. I love the idea of exploring more of the afterlife. I'm a big fan of that world.
Well, and we know that it's a weirdly mid-century bureaucratic world in the afterlife. That's what we know about Beetlejuice.
Yeah. So right now we have people attached, obviously, Jenna Ortega. We have Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder returning. We have Catherine O'Hara also returning.
Yep.
We have Justin Theroux and Monica Bellucci also reportedly attached.
This is a good cast. Very curious to
see what happens. We talked about our opinions on Jenna Ortega's casting on Wednesday, so if you haven't seen that episode, you can always go back. Catherine O'Hara is returning.
That's so important. That's so important.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why we didn't bring the other guy back, look up his criminal record. Who's the director on it? It is Tim Burton.
I'm having such a strange experience with Tim Burton as of late.
Go on. We were kind of over Timmy B.
We've been over Timmy B.
We've been way over Timmy B.
Over Timmy B.
It feels like Timmy B has been really just phoning it in and using his movies as an excuse to like, he's sort of like a goth Adam Sandler, where Adam Sandler uses his movie deals to just like take all his friends on vacation.
Yeah.
And the movie is second.
Yeah.
It feels like Timmy B do the same thing. Where can Deppy and I go with whoever we're currently attached to that is half our age and just like hang and maybe make a movie?
It's so hard because look at me. I was the biggest Burton fan in the fucking world. My childhood was made and sculpted by Tim Burton.
Please, between Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice, just those two. I was informed so much about me as a person.
Yeah, who I am is based on my love for Nightmare Before Christmas, for Beetlejuice, and for Edward Scissorhands, like massively. Obviously, we don't, Tim Burton has fallen from grace in many ways. And also, we learned a lot more about Tim Burton. I think that was one of the biggest things. It's not even on, a personal level. we learned a lot more about what parts of the creative process he was actually involved in.
Yes.
And how much of that was taking credit for other people's work.
Yep.
And how much of the things that we thought we loved about Tim Burton, we actually loved about other creatives working on Tim Burton properties.
It's right there in the title, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. He did not direct that film.
Right.
Henry Selick directed that film.
Correct.
And a lot of the aesthetic that we ascribed to Tim Burton came from Henry Selick and a lot of the other people working on his films, who he did not give any credit to really or big up at all.
Right.
And then,
So that's tough. And then I want to take at face value, because like there was a while where like when Tim Burton's name was on something, it was like, oh God, no. It was that Alice in Wonderland right after phase. It was the fucking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory phase. You had Alice
what
in the
he
Looking
did
Glass.
to Dark Shadows.
Right, Dark Shadows.
What he did to Dark Shadows
what he did
was a
to
crime.
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Criminal, fucking criminal. You had Eva Green as Miss Peregrine and you fucked it. You fucked it. That should have been so good.
What was the last Tim Burton movie I really loved? Was it Sleepy Hollow? It might have been Sleepy Hollow.
What year was Sleepy Hollow?
Real long time ago, 20 years ago at this point.
What did you think of Corpse Bride?
Corpse Bride I thought was fine.
I love Corpse Bride.
I thought it was cute.
I think Corpse Bride is excellent. But again, you get into those animated movies and you see how much of it is actually him, right?
Sleepy Hollow was 99.
Yeah. So
that
for
might
me,
be the last movie that I enjoyed of his.
I love...
And that's not to say I hate, I'm sorry, Big Fish. It was Big Fish.
Yeah. I was going to say, what year is Big Fish?
It was Big Fish. Hey, if you didn't think that Big
Fish is 2003.
If you were in your teens or 20s and didn't think you had any issues with your father, and then you watched Big Fish, you figured out all your issues with your father.
Yeah. Big Fish is 2003. Corpse Bride's 2005.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Here's what I'll say about Big Fish. Big Fish, I think of more as being the product of John August as a writer than Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Because the script to Big Fish does not feel like anything Tim Burton had done up until then.
No.
And that was very much the John August script and Tim Burton not fucking with the John August script.
Well, and I feel the same way about the movie 9. 9 came out in 2009. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's one of the greatest animated films ever made. But he didn't write it.
Who was Ryan Reynolds was the voice in that, or Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood was the main voice, yeah. Who did write 9? Directed by Shane Acker, written by Pamela Pedler, and Tim Burton was just attached.
Okay.
He was a producer on it, but it was very commonly associated as a Tim Burton movie.
And when you do, he produced this, like Spielberg does that too, where it's like produced by Steven Spielberg. So he's there, it's a little hands-on, and that's fine. But he very much, he really allows studios to run with, this is a Tim Burton film in a way that even Spielberg doesn't.
Yeah.
Spielberg's like, I produced this. You can't, because Spielberg's like, you can't, the difference between somebody like a Steven Spielberg takes what he makes so seriously and what he directs so seriously that it's like, don't even make people think I directed a movie if I didn't direct it.
Yeah.
Because when I direct a movie, it's very much mine. Right. And it's very specifically me. Tim Burton is very much willing to let you put his name on anything in a hot topic. Yeah. Literally anything.
100%. And there's a very good way to do this of somebody with a big name coming in to produce someone else's story to make sure that it gets made, to get it the attention that it deserves.
Yeah. And and sometimes to guide, because there is something, when you think about Lord and Miller and Spider-Verse. They didn't direct Spider-Verse, but it feels very they definitely had their hands on it in a way where a lot of the themes feel like Lord and Miller. That sort of thing.
Quasi said 9 messed me up as a movie. 9 is deeply, incredibly heartbreaking and disturbing. And if you feel like breaking your own heart and hurting your own feelings and longing for people you've never met, I would highly recommend it.
Hey, if that's not how you're wandering through your day already, like a lot of us are, watch 9. Speaking of other movie news, Saige, and particularly speaking of Zelda, some particularly strange movie news. Okay. VHS copies of Hellraiser are showing up on the tops of bus stops all over London. sometimes a single copy, sometimes as many as 3 copies. But VHS copies of Hellraiser are just popping up on bus stops, on the roofs of them all over London.
Well, let's read what this says here. It says, over the last 8 years of living in South London, there has always been at least 1 copy of Hellraiser on VHS on top of the bus stop at East Street.
Mm-hmm.
The most I've ever seen there is 3. I have no idea how they get there, no idea who regulates it, but it has always been one of my favorite things. A little bit of solitude in the big city. But recently, for a considerable amount of time, there has been no sign of them, removed by the council, vandals, who knows. Today I saw a fresh copy had been placed, and it made me feel like I was always well with the world again. So it's 1 bus stop.
Well, but in the replies, other people are like, oh yeah, I've seen them. I've seen them at my bus stop.
Who is doing this? What is happening?
So, and people were immediately like, oh, it's drugs. Anytime something's on top of something, people are like, it's
there's
drugs.
probably drugs in that box.
Yeah. Oh, I saw something hanging from a pole. Oh, that's to let you know that you could buy drugs there. Don't worry about the fact that no one's standing there and that there's literally no one to sell you drugs around there.
Right.
It's probably drugs. And then people are like, yeah. They put the drugs in the VHS cases so people don't know, so people can pick up the drugs and it doesn't look like a drug deal. It's like, yes, there's nothing strange about climbing on top of a bus stop to grab your copy of Hellraiser. That won't draw attention.
Yeah. I will say this is an incredibly intense response from the author of the tweet saying, for everyone saying, oh, it's just for drugs, I think I've got a bit of joy, wonder, and love for the little things in life that I can spare. Seeing as you're running on fumes. Hey, champ, do settle down though. That's an incredibly intense response.
That response reads to me as somebody who doesn't have a tweet blow up a lot.
Really?
And is not used to having people just responding and thinks all of the responses are actually directed at him.
Look, he pays for Twitter Blue. He pays for Twitter Blue.
Oh, okay, then he deserves it. Now, further down, as people were talking about this, they're like, I've seen one too. I've seen one over here. Somebody put this in the thread literally after I put this in the run of show today. London's Hellraiser VHS mystery has been solved, Saige. Ask and ye shall receive.
Wow.
So, commuters traveling along the Old Kent Road on the top deck of buses first noticed the Hellraiser cassette back in 2012.
Wow.
Some appeared on a bus stop in Newington Green. Who was doing it? What's going on? Radio 4 found out that someone has come forward to shed a little light on the mystery, though the confessor has chosen to remain anonymous. There's a show called Shortcuts on BBC4, and they had an episode called Rabbit Holes, which is dedicated to curious city monuments maintained by strangers. And a nameless person said that they are a visual artist who wanted to create something outdoors. They picked like December 21st as the start date for their 21 on 21 project. So December 21st, the 21 bus down Old Kent Road, 21 VHS copies of Hellraiser were placed along the bus route.
Wow.
Just to sort of show like weird apocalyptic thing going on for 11 years. Now 12.
Very pleasant.
I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. I think it's simple and it's small and it's cool.
I like when people do things like that to just kind of, there's an artist I follow who makes very, very tiny things and they put them out in public. So they'll take like, if there's like a little piece, like a little plot of grass next to a fire hydrant that's like this big, they'll put a little sign on it that says like City Park, you know, and then put like tiny furniture.
Yeah.
And I just love people that do things like this where it's like, this is something that became a mystery to people because it was something a little different and a little unknown.
Yeah.
And it just makes me happy.
Yeah.
It just makes me happy when people do stuff like that.
Something that like will distract someone and affect their day a little bit.
Yeah, make you think a little more about your day. You know, speaking of Zelda, there are people doing this right now, Saige, in Brazil. Goddess statues from Tears of the Kingdom are popping up all over Sao Paulo.
That's very funny.
The goddess Hylia, there are several of them scattered across the city.
It's very impressive. That's a big statue. It's like the size.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that owns. That's rad.
I love it. People have found them everywhere. Now, it's unclear if they've popped up anywhere else. It's also unclear if this is a Nintendo marketing thing, which it could be.
Interesting. Nintendo's never really done anything like that, though. Nintendo doesn't really do like tricky marketing.
Well, Brazil in particular is where a lot of companies do like stranger stuff and like out in the world kind of stuff. I remember there was I believe it was in Brazil where there was an Assassin's Creed marketing campaign where there was like an Altair or an Ezio that was just like going around the city and refused to speak to anybody, but was just like running around rooftops and like sneaking through crowds and stuff. There was just an Ezio running around.
Fun.
Yeah, just strange stuff.
Really quick, this wasn't in our document, but somebody did post something in the Discord that I want to acknowledge. Jelly PB.
What up, Jelly PB?
Jelly dropped a very important link in the Discord because on the Sims blog right now, they're putting to a vote.
Speaking of Zelda.
For some upcoming kits.
Okay. Now, kits, of course, are the overpriced mini DLCs.
Yep.
Where you get like 3 things.
You get more than that. It's just like, it might be just clothing. It might be just furniture. It might be just, outdoor pieces, right?
Gotcha.
But Anthony, the 2 options are Rainbow Core or Goth.
Whoa. As they've always been since the dawn of time.
Those are my 2 options every morning. Every morning I have to decide Rainbow Core or Goth.
It's tough. It's a tough decision for her.
Today I chose a little bit of both, and my shirt says Daddy.
And it's a furb.
It is a furb. And Anthony, I'm really struggling with this. How do we decide?
I don't know. I like them both equally.
They're both so cute because if you asked me without me looking, I would be like Goth.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Goth.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking and I'm like, shit.
But as a video game character, I love running around. I love running around just as much as those folks as I do as the other folks. They're both equally good for video game.
That's not the only packet they're having you vote on. The other one is past or future for a build kit. This is medieval castle or high-tech futurism.
Now, you know I go high-tech futurism.
I don't know. I'm also divided on this. I love both aesthetics.
It's true. You love the future, but also you want to live in a gingerbread house.
Right? Like, I want to build a castle in The Sims, and I want to build a high-tech futurism house.
You're a nation of contrasts, really.
I really am, and I'm having a hard time. I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, but also...
You know they're going to release both eventually.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
I do feel catered to.
I mean, you're definitely being marketed to.
Which I do appreciate.
Listen, we love to be marketed to.
But we got to choose one, guys. What are we doing?
We should choose as a group and all vote together.
That's what I'm thinking.
We should put together a Sims electoral college.
Okay, well, the electoral college was not a very functional system, but if we all just individually voted, actually, I think the electoral college
what we should do is we should all talk about it and then all cast our vote the same way, regardless of how the vote turns out.
I mean,
we should just do an electoral college.
Look, I think that we can all have a conversation and unite of like, hey, these are what we as a community need the most. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, but then if like 53% of us...
But then we don't make one person handle the actual voting or like a few people handle the actual voting.
No, if 53% of us vote for Goth, then everyone votes Goth.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think
that's the way to do it. I think that's the best way to do it.
And it's not even really based on 53% because that's actually not true because then we could still have it go against what the majority actually wanted in electoral college. So that isn't really a functional system.
What we should do is what I said.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm just saying, I do think that we could talk about what we as a community need the most in The Sims and try and do our best to make sure that everybody gets what they need.
Yeah. And if
like
53% of us decide
what you need
that what we need is the
want,
future, then all of us need it because that's a majority. Now,
but if only 10% really need something, but they need it more than I want something, that would be probably the priority. You know what I mean? Like, if you really need something, and I'm like, well, I'd like a rainbow sweater, then I would probably say, let's go with the need of those, 1%, 10% of people, because their need has to take priority over my desires.
No, like, I hear what you're saying. We're not going to do it that way.
Okay. Well, a poll ran for Goth versus Rainbow, and Goth just won, and now they're running a poll for Castles versus Mega Future.
Okay, so everyone has to go to the Sims site right now and vote for Goth. You have no choice.
I think that the chat is saying
57% of us voted for Goth. So all of us now have to go to the Sims website and vote goth. Sorry.
I do want that futurism house, honestly.
Yeah, the futurism house is good.
It's really cool. It says high-tech futurism. You can have tomorrow today.
The thing about a castle is it has to be a very specific looking castle for me to want it. And that's not a gothic castle. That's a fairy tale castle.
That's just a sketch, though. You get to build it how you want. It's a Sims.
Yeah, it just says medieval castle. I want like a creaky, old, towering, ancient, you know what I mean?
Okay, so then are we going to be cyber goths? Are we going to be future goths?
Tough to say.
We could be future goths.
Everyone's voting right now.
Everyone is voting right now. And currently by one vote, Mega Future has it.
That's right. And if that is the way it goes by one vote, then we all have to go to the Sims site and vote for the Mega Future.
As for the actual voting, it is linked in our Discord. It's not going to be linked directly in the chat. It is in our Discord.
Is this democracy? Yes. As far as you know.
All right, I placed my vote. Hey, everybody, remember to vote.
Hey, can I talk about one more weird thing before we call it?
Okay.
I ran across these ads. Now, Saige, you and I have slept in the same room before. I snore, and not only do I snore, I make sounds like maybe I'm dying.
It's true.
Saige has had to share a room with me before, and I apparently stop breathing and then gasp and scream but it's not screaming.
No.
It's simply the way I breathe when I sleep.
Yeah.
I've done a sleep study. I've done all kinds of stuff. They're just like, yeah, man, this is how you breathe. You're sleeping fine.
Sleep apnea. Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. No, they said it's not even sleep apnea. You're sleeping fine.
Okay.
I said, all right. Now, because we did the sleep study, they hooked everything up to me. And they're like, no, you're sleeping through the night. There is no apnea. You're getting enough oxygen. Everything's fine. And I was like,
you're just bad at it.
You're just bad at sleeping.
And breathing while you sleep.
So apparently, somehow, the cookies in the algorithm found out. And I started getting ads for, Saige, I kid you not, hostage tape.
What?
In a product that was clearly invented by white tech guys who have never had any sense of danger in their lives at all. They have created...
This has to be a joke.
No, it's real, and it's spency. It's hostage tape.
The fact they called it hostage tape?
Yeah, because they have no awareness. It's essentially tape that you tape onto your mouth that when your mouth is taped shut, they've run studies that say when your mouth is taped shut, it forces the air to go, instead of like getting caught up in your throat, it forces it to go back up through your nose. You snore less, you make hostage blindfold. You snore less, you make fewer noises, and you get better sleep, according to these studies. It's the most awful marketing and horrible fucking product name and branding I've ever seen. It's got that dude bro like font.
Yeah.
The stamped impact font, and it costs an insane amount of money.
And all the images are dude bros.
And it's just dude bros. It's just showing it off. It's showing off like, this $40 like piece of tape. It's just athletic tape.
The only time they show a woman on the website is when they show the statistics. Snoring is the third leading cause for divorce, which cannot be correct.
It's the third leading cause for divorce.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Four Swords was the best-selling Zelda. And snoring is the third highest cause of divorce.
How interesting. It's weird because the internet tells me from one very quick singular Google search that it is substance abuse and domestic violence.
That's 1 and 2. Number 3.
No.
Number 3 is snoring.
No, 1 and 2 were infidelity and finance.
Oh. We're snoring.
Oddly enough, not on the list.
That seems weird. You don't think the hostage tape guys are lying to us, do you? You don't think do you think they're just joking, bro? Bro, you think they're just joking?
I hate these guys.
Bro, do you think they're just fucking with you?
Bro, I hate these guys.
So here's the thing. When I saw the ad, I was like, fuck this, fuck these guys. This is so weird. I wanted to see the study. I read the study. Study's true.
Okay. You still suck.
I ordered, no, but listen, they do suck, but it's just athletic tape. Their tape is just normal athletic tape.
Of course it is.
I ordered a roll of athletic tape.
How do you put tape on your mouth?
It has to go from up here to down.
I was gonna say you've got so much facial hair.
Yeah, it's got to go across.
Are you serious?
Saige, I'm not snoring and I'm sleeping way better by taping my mouth shut.
Anthony, did you really?
Yeah.
And you're taping it from here to here?
Like from here down to here, because it doesn't need to be like. It doesn't need to be like, it just needs to like, it just, like a tight like seal or whatever. It just needs to stop my chin from going like when I sleep. That's all. Folks.
Your marriage is saved.
My marriage is saved. Finally. 4 years after the divorce, my marriage is saved.
Well, it was the cause.
She left me because I snored. Here's the thing. It works. And I do hate this. We've talked about gendered marketing.
Uh-huh.
I hate this
Dude wipes
and this dude eye drops, dude razors with names like the lawnmower. Like I just fucking hate that shit.
Boo.
And these are some particularly tone deaf bros.
Yeah.
Clearly. I also hate this thing that's happening lately, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. You had Tim Ferriss, he released that book, The 4-Hour Workweek, where he talked about like rebranding and drop shipping things and becoming a millionaire.
Yep.
And now every fucking ad that I see is some tech guy who's trying to rebrand a $2 product and sell it to me with like Helvetica.
Yep.
For $40.
Correct.
And these guys are taking that like, this feels like the boy butter.
Sorry. That's also what I was laughing at.
Boy butter. This is like, did you see the Danny Gonzalez video about tactical strollers?
I sure fucking did.
Where there's this company that's trying to sell
strollers, but for men to push babies.
Are you forced to walk your baby like a woman? Don't walk your baby like a woman. Walk your baby like a man from the army. I'm a military, and when I walk my baby, I throw it.
Now, I may not be actually enlisted or serving at this ever, but my baby's stroller is still camouflaged in case I need to take it to war.
My baby's stroller is made of Kevlar. Take a shot at my baby. I dare you.
Anyways, folks.
Yeah, hostage tape. Get out of here. The people who have no fear of being abducted or mistreated in their lives thought it would be very, very funny to call this hostage tape.
Anthony,
Men, do you have to babysit your child?
Fucking calling it babysitting. Anthony, I think I told you this story. My ex took me to an escape room for a date night. And I had been having like an incredibly like stressful time, and I was like overworked, shocking, surprising, I know. And he was like, I got you. I'm making the plans tonight. Don't you worry about a thing.
That's
nice,
yeah.
right? Okay. Oh, an escape room?
Yeah.
I like an escape room.
Sure.
I love an escape room. I think those are very fun.
What's the theme, Saige?
Well, I wasn't told what the theme was, you see. And he was like, she likes horror.
Yeah.
We don't have to warn her that it's a scary escape room. Most escape rooms are not inherently horror themed, and this one was. And I was ushered into a hallway, standing, and it's like a colorful escape room place, you know, because it's not a horror escape room place. That's just one of the themes.
Yeah.
When a man came out and put a bag over my head.
Nope. The end. Nope. That is not under any circumstances a surprise. I see so many fucking videos of like, look what we're doing for our bro's birthday, or this is an ultimate experience that they won't see coming. And it always starts with somebody putting a bag over somebody's head and fucking hauling them away somewhere. How? Why? Was it The Hangover? Was it the movie The Hangover? Did that embed it in dude brains? Why is this okay?
Did you even sign a consent form? I didn't. My assumption is he must have signed it for both of us. because he booked the tickets, he chose the room. And when I freaked out, naturally, had a panic attack because a man put a bag over my head in a colorful hallway, the guy at the escape room was like, whoa, I'm so sorry. This, like, one of the big warnings that we give you when you book this room is that this is the first thing that happens. It says it all over it. I didn't receive those.
So one of two things is happening. He either signed a consent form for you, or that escape room did not have you sign a consent form, which they all usually do. But even still, buddy, you don't fucking do that. You don't fucking do that, my guy.
Yeah, the man with the bag apologized. He was like, whoa, usually people are fully signing up for this.
Because the people who work there
are just doing their job.
And assume you know.
And it's not even like a super fucked up escape room. Like, and hey, here's the thing. If you had told me, hey, it's a horror escape room, they start with a bag over your head, depends on the day.
Depends on the day. After a long, stressful week, maybe not.
No. If I'm already anxious, absolutely not. But like, I could psych myself up and be prepared for the information.
But on one of your more like kind of geeked up days, I could see me telling you like, hey, Saige, we're going to a simulated kidnapping, and you'd be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, depends. But
right.
Yeah. I don't think it's simulated, but like, again, it was just like, oh, you're gonna be thrown in here and you have to escape. Okay, that would have been fine. You gotta be in the right mindset for that. Anyways,
fucking bro marketing for bros. Don't do it. I don't want anything. I don't want any product where the font is that like impact stamp font.
Yeah.
If that's your font,
don't advertise to me. Don't sell to me.
Yeah, you got the wrong guy. I'm not your bro. I'm not your buddy, pal.
I'm not your pal, friend.
Oh man. But I will say this, if you snore and you have problems sleeping, try taping your goddamn mouth shut. Works for me.
Hey, have you ever tried shutting the fuck up?
Hey, have you ever tried just shutting your goddamn mouth?
Hey.
I did. And it's done wonders.
And the ladies love it. Anyways, y'all, that is all the show that we have time for. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for starting your day with us. We do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, except this week, where it's just Monday and Wednesday because I'm traveling. Thank you to everybody who supported us during the show. There's a lot of ways to do so. We will go through and we will do a roll call of everyone who did. But hey, you can do so by just showing up and watching. That's an inaccurate amount on that goal because we didn't reset it at the beginning of the show.
We forgot.
But that's a great way to support us.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
That's the number one way to support the two of us directly. That is that's how we get paid, is your direct donations during the show.
You can also tell a friend about it for free. You can tweet when we're going live. That's also very cool of you, and we love when you do that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we also do love when you join the Patreon, when you subscribe, when you join the Discord. All that stuff supports the network overall, and that's a wonderful thing to do. Donut wallpaper ain't free.
It's oddly expensive.
So we're going to talk about everybody who supported us in just a second here. But first, Saige.
Yes, Anthony.
Where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at NutSage. I stream on my channel sometimes, and you can find me here all the time. And you can check out our new Girl by Moonlight series in the name of very soon. Come on, okay? Stay in.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And you can find me everywhere online at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me.
We both spoke a little softer while doing this.
Yeah, I feel a little softer.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.